Do you think Starmer is actually done for this time? Has Trump finally killed off Starmer?
They're going to be getting trounced by reform. They're going to be getting trounced by the Greens. It's about to get a whole lot worse for Starmer. Mr. Trump doesn't know what he's doing. The UK isn't helping. Starmer's not helping. And guess what? British public's going to suffer. We're all feeling the pinch, and it's about to get a whole lot worse.
All right, James Walker, associate editor of the Daily Express. Some breaking news. What's going down?
Yeah, I mean, today's been absolutely crazy at the time of recording. Iran struck this massive gas field in Qatar, which seems like another one of those world stories where you're like, why do I care?
Yeah.
Well, UK gas prices are skyrocketing. They're about to get much, much worse as well. They've gone up as much as a third today. This is in an economy where, I mean, JJ, do you feel particularly well off at the minute? Do you feel like...
This is the poorest I've ever been.
Yes,
and I used
exactly.
to not work.
Exactly. We're all feeling the pinch, and it's about to get a whole lot worse. Just to run through some of the details. Basically, yeah, Iran has struck this oil field in Qatar. Donald Trump has said that he's going to hit another one in Iran. That is going to mean oil and gas supplies are going to start drying up. The Strait of Hormuz still blocked. They're trying to figure out how they're going to unblock it. The UK isn't helping. Starmer's not helping. And guess what? British public's going to suffer. JJ, what do you make of this?
I think maybe because, like you and most British people, and I'm sure many of our listeners, I didn't even know what the Strait of Hormuz was. Before this attack.
Speak for yourself.
before this attack from Trump, it was not something that ever crossed my mind. That was it. So even though this is Trumpflation that's causing our prices to go up, it's Starmer who's going to be suffering from this most in this country.
Oh, massively. I mean, look, things are already looking really bad for Starmer. When you've seen this in elections across the world throughout history, when people's pockets are, being raided, when they're feeling really pinched, they vote for the other guy.
Yeah.
The polls are already looking really, really bad for Labour. The May elections are coming up. No one in Labour's camp is hopeful, I'm hearing, that they're going to be doing anything, any decent sort of numbers during that local election. They're going to be getting trounced by reform. They're going to be getting trounced by the Greens. It's about to get a whole lot worse for Starmer. This is going to be the end for him, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, well, when gas prices go up, so does the price of everything else, right? It becomes more expensive to deliver food. It becomes more expensive to, turn up to a building site. Everything becomes more and more expensive. More importantly, the fuel in your car. Your commute, for a lot of people in the country, they don't live in London, they don't have a tube. How do they get about? Car.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to cost them a fortune to fill up every day. I bet you any money we're going to see rushes on petrol stations soon. If those prices continue to creep up and up and up, people are going to be filling those tanks. They're going to be filling the... do you remember a few years ago they were filling up the canisters? It's crazy, it's stupid behaviour, but it will happen.
Yeah.
You can guarantee it will happen. And while all that's going on, 6-7 weeks away, we've got local elections. Everyone in Labour saying, well, if Labour do really badly, that's the end for Starmer. They're going to get a new leader in. They're going to get Rayner, Miliband, Streeting, whoever. Donald Trump has basically killed off Keir Starmer. He's destroyed his career in one fell swoop. But I'm sure that's not what he had in mind when he was attacking Iran. I think it's probably bigger issues at play than Keir Starmer's future. But inadvertently, that's what's probably done it for him.
This is the power of the pump, right? Is that when Biden was up for re-election, he would remove some of the sanctions that were placed on Iran from the USA to bring down oil prices. Yeah, he would even pay money. I think he paid $2 billion to Iran at one point. Obama, when he was up for re-election, he also paid a few billion to Iran. And when the knock-on effect was that oil prices dropped, gas prices for Americans then became lower, and everyone's happy. So I think you're absolutely right about saying that this is it for him. But here's a concise summary of basically what's happening and what the outcomes are from this war. For the UK, renewed mortgage misery, pushing up inflation because of Trumpflation. Higher oil and gas prices are feeding into inflation. They were supposed to fall before this war had happened. Obviously now they're just rising. Bank of England was due to cut interest rates, but they ain't going to happen now. Rates could be increased this summer. And as I said at the top there, mortgage rates have already jumped sharply. Typical fixed deals rising above 5% and cheap deals disappearing from the market altogether, which means borrowers could face hundreds of pounds extra per year, especially those remortgaging. Now, you're looking to buy a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah,
Good luck with that, son.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Good luck. I mean, they've frozen interest rates at the time of recording. They've frozen interest rates. Like you say, a lot of the markets are expecting that to jump astronomically in June, I believe. They're expecting it to jump. It's, you almost feel bad for Starmer in a sense, in that this is the part of the economy that's out of his control. It doesn't matter who is in charge. If Trump decides to start a war in the Middle East and oil and gas supplies are restricted, nothing the UK can do about that anymore.
Yeah.
We're not the big player we used to be.
Yeah.
So there's not much you can do about that. Obviously, there's a lot of self-inflicted economic damage that he's inflicted on the economy, and a lot of average working people. And they're going to be going to the polls in May now, and they're going to be like, my gas prices have gone up. My heating my house has become more expensive.
Yeah.
Filling my car has become more expensive. Buying groceries has become more expensive. And there's a tax on NI, and I've probably just lost my job. This Labour government is supposed to be the government of the working people. Well, it's not going to feel like it, is it? And then they've got the gall. This Labour minister, Chris Bryant, I'm reading.
Chris Bryant.
Get this, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
What's he saying now?
Well, get this. Chris Bryant, genius, Mensa, sort of future leader, future world leader, probably Churchillian character. He says Mr. Trump doesn't know what he's doing, and it was obvious Iran would block the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. I mean, my question would be to him, what are we going to do to unblock it? It looks like nothing. And to be fair, the US are now saying, look, we could simply walk away. We don't have to unblock the Strait of Hormuz because we've got oil and gas supplies to keep ourselves tidy for a while.
Yeah.
So does the UK, but we refuse to drill it. thanks to Mr. Ed Miliband. I mean, what do you? So let's say this does spell doom for Starmer. What does that mean next for Labour?
What it means next for Labour is some other buffoon coming in and taking over, which worries me more than anything else, because I already think Labour's on the wrong path, and anyone who replaces Starmer is going to be much further to the left than he is. Labour are dust. They'll be done for. The same way we saw the Tories get obliterated at the last general election, that's going to be Labour next. That's going to be Labour. Because if it's Angela Rayner, if it's Ed Miliband, it ain't going to be Lammy. But let's say it's Miliband or it's Rayner for the next leader. They are both basically far lefties. Yeah. Now, I don't think either of them are equipped to lead the country, let alone lead the Labour Party. But they're so out of touch with where the country is as a whole. Shabana Mahmood would be a flipping great shout, I would say. She's a bit more centre-right. She's a bit more common sense than the other people are. But I don't think the Labour Party would elect her as the next leader.
No, the Labour Party base is full of just the most bonkers uni-level sort of lefties. Yeah. They've come straight out of uni. They've got the Labour Party membership card. It's not the Labour Party it used to be, where it was trade union members, people who'd actually done a day's work in their life. It's professionals in London. It's professionals in Bristol. It's professionals in Manchester. Yeah. It's completely changed. They are left-wing as sin, and they're all going to be voting for Polanski. I think regardless, if they get Rayner and Miliband in, they'll be doing that to try and, remove the threat from their left flank from Polanski. They're not going to go as far as he does, so they're not going to appeal to their base, and they're not going to appeal to the public. So they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. And if they track to the right with Shabana Mahmood, I kind of see what you're saying, but Farage is more right-wing. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you want that kind of politics, there's a guy for you.
Yeah.
And he's on Cameo.
Yeah. But in the same way you're saying that they have, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't, that has been the story of Starmer with this war. Yeah. He refused to send in British ships. He refused to help Trump. No, we're not complicit in this war. Yep. Refused to even give them the air bases at first. Now they're allowed to use our air bases. But either way, our country's now stuffed in terms of the cost of living, electricity, bills, gas, mortgages. Everything's going up from Starmer saying, I'm not doing anything. Had he intervened straight away and said to Trump, you're our special relationship, I'm going to help you, we're going to Britain and USA, fantastic, good man. Had he jumped in at the very beginning, people would now be saying, Starmer should have never got involved in this war. Yeah. It's his fault that the petrol prices are going up. So he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. And
I'm just going to say, you've got Keir's cadence down to a T.
Thank you.
It's spot on, spot on. Your career here is pretty poor, so you should go into impressions. Yeah, look, you are completely right. To be honest, I mean, maybe speaking from a younger point of view, grew up Iraq was just sort of starting, was figuring out for the first time, what world affairs was, what the Middle East was, all that madness going on. It didn't seem to do us any good back home. It cost us a lot of money and obviously a lot of innocent, good veterans' lives over not very much, frankly. When you look at what's happened in the region since and who's taken over in the region since, and I think he was completely right on a political level not to get involved.
Okay.
I mean, the UK is not a power that decides what goes on in the world anymore. We haven't been since the Second World War.
Yeah.
We've struggled to come to terms with that. And I think actually it's been quite good to see a Prime Minister come to terms with that and be like, yes, actually this is not a power that can throw its weight around in the world anymore, and we shouldn't be getting involved in foreign wars. But because we've allowed ourselves to be traduced and dragged down, and we've spent so much money on stupid wars for so long, since World War II, we find ourselves in a position where we're kind of just like you say, damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Yeah.
We are at the mercy of random worldwide headwinds, whatever China and America decide they want to do, whatever efforts they make to expand their spheres of influence. We are just at their mercy at the minute. So I think, to be honest, this should be a wake-up call, not just to Starmer and Labour, but to Reform, to the Tories, to the Greens. Stop getting involved in international affairs.
Well, the Greens won't get involved. The Greens won't do anything.
No, they'll sell us off. Sell us to Putin for a fiver. No, they're all right. They're a bit mad, but they're not traitors. I mean, it's just we have to come to terms with the fact we are not the world power we were. Sadly, whatever you might think of that. If we want to get back there, we've got to focus on ourselves for a bit. We've got to stop worrying about Israel, Palestine. We've got to stop worrying about Iran, US. We've got to stop worrying about Taiwan. Let them do what they will. Crack on, drill, get North Sea oil out.
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill. Get that North Sea oil out, right? Get the economy going, get energy prices down, build the UK back up again, and then maybe we can start to worry about what we're doing in Iran, regime change, all that sort of stuff. If that's what we want to do, you've got to focus at home first.
It's all linked. It's all linked. Syrian refugees, Afghani refugees, Afghan refugees, taking out Gaddafi in Libya, and now that being a starting point for so many people coming through North Africa, across into Europe. If we hadn't intervened in any of those things, the current climate in the UK would be very different.
Yeah, you're wondering now at home, why can't migrants be deported when they've committed a crime because their children doesn't like chicken nuggets abroad? Yeah. Well, it probably starts off with us intervening in the Middle East about 10 years ago. It's a crazy, obviously, chain of events. The butterfly effect is always nuts to comprehend, but like you say, that's at the root of all of our problems, I think. So, although Starmer's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. He hasn't handled this particularly well, and it's gonna finish him off at the local elections. I think if gas prices stay high, if interest rates go up, if it's more expensive to commute and buy your groceries, no one's going to vote for the incumbent, are they?
Well, we ask you this all the time. We state it all the time. But do you think Starmer is actually done for this time?
I promise you, he's actually done this time. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Empty promises.
Yeah, sure.
Let us know in the comments. Has Trump finally killed off Starmer? Also, like, share, subscribe, and hit the hype button. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.